Welcome to Scorched and a general reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of April. Hope you're well. Using the Crow Tarot for you today. At the beginning of the year I did a 6-month overview for each of the signs from January to June, obviously, and since we're now more than halfway through that period, it seemed only appropriate that I knock the price down, you know, as it is. But actually at this point I just really want people to see it, so I want the messages that were coming through in there to get through to people. So if you haven't checked it out and you're interested, there's a link in the description box, and there will be an extended at the end of this, so if the reading resonates and you want to go a little bit deeper, there's a link down there also for that. So let's have a look and see what's going on with you, Capricorn. Can I have 3 cards for Capricorn, please? That's the first one. We have the 6 of Pentacles there in your recent past. Current energy for Capricorn, please. Got the 2 of Swords. That's interesting. And one more. Ooh, we have the Wheel of Fortune for April for you. We have the Fool at the bottom of the deck, and I wonder if this is connected to these 2 cards here. I think very much that it is, because the 2, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Let's not do that. We have the Fool card here. Talks about a new path, right? Talks about the first step on a new cycle. You know, the Fool's journey, which is the major arcana, runs from the card 0, which is the Fool, right through to the World, right? 22 cards right the way through. And when you get to the World, you start off again with the Fool, but hopefully, you know, a step up from where you were before. It's always about, you know, improving and growing and learning, all of those things. So, all right, I use the Lost Forest to clarify. So tell me about the 6 of Pentacles, please. We have 7 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is Aries energy. Tell me about this. 2 of Swords. 2 Swords, please. That just tried to jump out, but then it put itself back in. It's the 10 of Swords. It talks about an ending. Put that back in. It showed its face, but it didn't actually come out. So tell me about the 2 of Swords, please. I've got the 10 of Wands now showing its face and trying to come out. And about 2 of Swords. Thank you. What do we have here? Right. Doesn't surprise me. We have the 8 of Swords and we have the 3 of Wands here. We have the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius, that kind of fell out to the right side. I'm just going to pop it there. We're going to refer to it, I'm sure. Tell me about this Wheel of Fortune. That was very decisive. We've got the 7 of Cups. And we have the 6 of Cups. Right. We have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, followed by the 9 of Wands and the Hanged Man. I feel like you're having trouble accepting something, Capricorn, and I'm not quite sure why I feel like that. I can't really nail it just now at the moment. We have the 9 of Wands and we have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is about changing your perspective on something. It's a very passive card that kind of, it's like leaning back in the forest, lying on the floor and staring at the tops of the trees, you know, rather than the floor here. It's about achieving enlightenment through sacrifice, through submitting to something. But we've got this 9 of Wands here and this Page of Cups, and I think that you're having a bit of trouble with that at the moment, but we're going to get into it. We'll see what this is about. So the very first card that you've got is the 6 of Pentacles. Now, that is a card that speaks about balance primarily, right? It talks about reciprocity. It talks about things all being in alignment and like where we like them. You know, it's Pentacles, so it's Earth, like you. But it speaks of an attempt to try and bring balance to a situation that is not to your liking at the moment. That's the best way to describe this. You know, it feels like you've been doing something that's kind of, that you feel like is charitable, I guess, in some way or another. But for some reason, like, Your desire to do this is coming to an end. We've got the Seven of Pentacles underneath there, progression on from the Six. But it talks about a situation that isn't to your liking in some way or another, right? When I see the Seven of Pentacles, it's often a card of kind of taking a very present assessment of your situation and going, well, something's not quite right about it. Something's a bit wrong. Like, wow, what do I do here to shift it? Like, how do I change it? Do I have to put more effort into it, or do I need to pull my pentacles out of it, right? And then we've got the Queen of Wands here. And it seems to me that perhaps you think you found the answer to it. Because the Queen of Wands is very dynamic, very bold, very confident energy here. And it's all underpinning this Six of Pentacles. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. We've got two here. We've got the Four of Swords and we've got the Two of Cups. Now, I'm with the Seven of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. So, with the Four of Swords, we have a level of detachment. We have a level of pulling away from something. And we've got the Two of Cups here. So it could well be a relationship, but it doesn't have to be a romantic one. It could be a friend. It could be a colleague at work. It could be, a business partner, something like that. Or it could be a romantic situation. But what's really strong is a sense of wanting to try and write something out. This Six of Pentacles is quite interesting because it's very close to the Justice card. Right? In the Crow Tarot here, we have the scales there. And even the position that the Crow is in at this point, it's replicated across in the Justice card. And I think that you've been really struggling to bring balance to something that has not been giving you the fruits that you were hoping that it would. You're not able to reap the harvest from it in the way that you want to. It could be an Aries that you're dealing with this Queen of Wands here, or a fire sign at all. But if it's not, it feels to me like you're quite confident that now is the time to pull away from something, right? Pull away from an old relationship maybe, or a relationship that's kind of done its time, right? Got the Eight of Pentacles there. Maybe you want to pull your energy out of something so that you can redirect it elsewhere. That's possible. We have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Now, it's interesting, it's followed by the Ten of Pentacles. These two cards can both talk about your home, right? Losing your home, possibly. It's sudden energy that causes you to divert in a different direction. Maybe you're thinking about moving home, something like that, right? This is a very odd reading. There you are, actually, Capricorn, right at the bottom of the deck there as well, underneath that. But if not, it's something that you've been committed to for quite a long time, and the Tower energy is kind of coming in to kind of wash this away now. Like, whatever effort you've put in, there are no returns now in the way that you'd anticipated, and so it's time for it to go, right? Now, in your current energy, you feel quite indecisive. What seemed like a good idea at some point actually now seems not to be quite so clear cut, right? We've got the Two of Swords in reverse. Now, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know that I don't really like this card very much, because it does talk about a decision needing to be made. But somebody who's trying to make it from a very cold, very, logical perspective without actually consulting the other things that are at their disposal. So we have the water there, and we often have a moon. There isn't one actually here on here. But we've got, that bird has got a blindfold on there, right? It's kind of like a willful ignorance of certain facts, and it's trying to go, well, purely on, technically correct facts rather than what your heart is telling you. And often I think somebody gets stuck in this kind of impasse because if they let their emotions get involved with it, they'd know that they were going to decide in one particular direction, and for whatever reason they're kind of pulling back from that. Now, underneath it, we've got the Eight of Swords and we've got the Three of Wands, and it sort of makes me feel like you're quite stuck where you are for some reason, right? There's a desire to move or maybe there is a desire to move, but there's a desire to move in some kind of direction here. But for whatever reason, you don't feel like you can. Now, with the Eight of Swords, that energy is often up here rather than having its basis in reality anywhere, right? It is those self-imposed limitations. And the Three of Wands, got these birds soaring up high in the air. There's a definite desire for movement. But I'm sort of reminded of that old quote, you know, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right on both counts here with you. You seem to have got right up in your head about something. Tell me about the Eight of Swords, please. Got the Sun. That's the card of Leo. It's also a card of children. But it's a card of joy and consciousness too. And yours feels like it's somewhat removed from you at the moment. Tell me about this. What have we got here? We've got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, so much of a need to start again at something and transform some sort of situation, because we've got the Death card. Might be a Scorpio that you're dealing with here. Yeah. There's an urge to start again. There's an urge to transform your situation, and whatever situation you have been in, whether it was charitable or no, like there's a difficulty here in balancing out what you want and your responsibilities. That's how it feels. And now in your present energy, like you are just completely stuck. Completely stuck. And you, maybe you know why, maybe you don't know why. I'll be honest, Capricorn, I'll put it to you that it is something of an emotional issue for you. Right? Because it's something that you're not looking at the moment, and you're very deliberately not looking at it for some sort of reason. Right? Thing is, it's holding everything back now, and where you want to soar, you're not being given the opportunity to do so. Where you want to experience pure joy and transform your situation and start again with something else, you know, whether it is actually, could be a relationship. Oh, this Ace of Wands is about passion, right? But it's also the card of living. It's the card of experiencing. You know, I mean, the other way of interpreting the Death card here is that it is just a sudden stop to this Ace of Wands energy. You know, what you had got really excited about, a new thing that you were wanting to bring about. This Death card is just kind of stopping you and going, no, it's not happening yet. Except that it's not the Death card, it's you. Now, from here, it gets really, really odd, because the card that you've got is the Wheel of Fortune, right? Now, that is my card of a teaching moment, right? There's something about this energy that you're in at the moment that's trying to teach you something. We cannot ignore that as an interpretation. And we do have Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus and Leo depicted on this card. So if you're dealing with any of those, that might be an issue. But it's really that kind of Deus Ex Machina kind of energy that comes in sometimes, that we think comes from nowhere, but actually it doesn't, right? It's a reflection of what's going on with you at any given point, you know, just as your circumstances reflect where you are resonating at any given point, you know. Not always, actually, to be fair, but a lot of the time. This talks about, you know, something unexpected kind of coming to bear here, you know, a complete change in the status quo. And we've got the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups coming out to clarify. Now, the Seven of Cups is all about, it's often about emotional confusion, but on this one, like, it's illusion, right? We've got that light there, and that's an anglerfish, right? So it's an anglerfish? I think it's an anglerfish, right? Going, ooh, look at this shiny light under the deep ocean, and all the little fish go, ooh, that's really exciting, and they kind of wander over to have a look, and then they get eaten by, you know, the big sharp teeth that are sat right behind the light. And then we've got the Six of Cups. Now, this is the past. It can be past lives, it can be your childhood, it could be your children, actually. You know, it's often the card of children too. We've got three little heads bobbing up over the water there. Look, they're really, really cute little seals. But it feels like April is a month where you don't really know which way you are going, or even which way is up, to be honest. Right? There's Let me pull some out. Let's have that 7 of Cups. Thank you. 5 of Pentacles and the Chariot. Right, tell me about 6 of Cups. Oh, we've got the King of Swords in reverse. We've got the 7 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. This, oh, 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This feels a lot like a really strong teaching moment for you, Capricorn, for some reason or another, right? We've got you trying to make a movement and then being stopped. Now, you are ultimately stopping yourself. Let's not get away from that. But I wonder if you're really thinking at all clearly about what it is that you're trying to do at the moment, because I'm not sure that you are, right? We've got that 7 of Cups there, which indicates that emotional confusion, illusion somewhat, and maybe you have fallen spell under the illusion of an idea or something like that. But with this King of Swords in reverse, like, you're not thinking very clearly about the route that you want to take forwards. We've got the 5 of Pentacles here, which talks about a poverty and a lack. And maybe it is that you're not fully appreciating what it is that you have in the here and now. And that's almost why you're being prevented from going for something after. It's just like, well, you're not going to appreciate that if you're not really in a state of gratitude about what you have at the moment. Because we've got the 7 of Pentacles down here. This is just something not giving you the harvest that it should be. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. Now, the 9 of Pentacles feels like a cautionary word here for you to marshal your resources properly, right? I see that all the Pentacles is energetic currency, right? So anything capable of investing is a pentacle. And this is talking about investing in yourself. It suggests that you have some energetic leaks somewhere. And maybe your motivations for doing what it is that you're trying to do aren't necessarily coming from the right place. We've got the 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. It talks about anxiety. It talks about overthinking about things. It can sometimes talk about grief and mental illness and all sorts of things. But it does also speak specifically about perspective to me, right? Because I've got this arbitrary rule about swords up good, swords down bad, right? These ones are horizontal and they're laid across the wall. Now, depending on your perspective, those swords are either there to kill you or they're just very nice wall adornments. Thank you very much, right? The only thing that's different there is the perspective of somebody that's walking in, although obviously if you've been dragged in by your feet, it might be a little bit concerning. But you take my point, right? The 9 of Swords often tells us that we're up in our heads worrying about something that doesn't have its basis in reality, because effectively these swords are neutral, right? There's no great truth, there's no great lie, there's just your perspective of the situation. And whatever it isn't quite as straightforward as you think it is. And it's certainly not the way that you think it is. And it's kind of asking you to come back in and examine your motivations for what it is that you're trying to change at the moment, because it does genuinely feel like you're kind of overlooking something quite profound here, Capricorn. And I'm sorry to say, it looks like you're going to spend most of April wrestling with this, because something's about to change, and it's about to change quite dramatically, to be honest. I have that Tower in there, but we've also got the Wheel of Fortune. Like, these are big energies, and these are ones that we can't control, right? Maybe the issue is that you can't control something that you're trying to, and you know, this is a lesson in that for you. Whew. Right, so I'm going to go over to Vimeo. I'm going to pull this apart a little bit and see what on earth this Wheel of Fortune is about for you in April. On a deeper level. So if you're interested in that, like I said, the link's in the description. Come and join me. If not, no shade, no problem. Yeah, cool. Right, know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.